Because I interrogated Feng Shui that day and learned that the Prince of Ning secretly sent an envoy to him last year. I suspected that he had connections with some vassal princes and held ulterior motives. I searched for evidence in his house but found no traces of any correspondence after a thorough search. I felt this was a matter of great importance, so I came to report to your majesty. You entered the palace alone, but when you left it was with another. Who was it? I met Master Su Yan by chance, so we left together. It was Su Yan's birthday, so he drank a lot. I can't seem to recall if I told you to escort him out of the palace. Did I do that? No, your majesty. I acted on my own and used your name for my own gain. The guilt is my own. Qi, when you exposed Feng Shui in Dongyuan and pledged your loyalty to me, I could tell that you were both determined and intelligent. I appreciated that fact about you, hence why I appointed you in the hopes that you may serve me well. You saved Su Yan's life. In recognition of your merits, I promoted you to a position of great importance. Yet now you are claiming to have good intentions while betraying my trust. What empowered you to be so bold? I was blinded by self-interest. I dare not ask for your majesty's forgiveness and will accept any punishment. Blinded by self-interest? What did that entail? What did you gain? When the traitor Feng held me captive in Dongyuan, I was moved by Master Su's loyalty and reluctance to cause further harm. It was only a small act of kindness at the time. But I learned later that my life was in danger. Ironically, I gained a promotion through this hardship. I was grateful to your majesty's kindness and to Master Su for his unwavering support and for speaking up for me. However, I have also developed some selfish thoughts. I thought that since Master Su was highly favored, it would only benefit me if I continued to curry favor with him. That day, I noticed Master Su was so drunk that he was swaying in his seat in the palanquin as he left the palace, so I went over to greet him. But as I approached Master Su, I realized something was wrong. It was as if he had been drugged. I questioned the servants carrying the palanquin, but all of them spoke evasively. All they would say was that Eunuch Lan ordered them to send him to the southern study. Yet, Master Su was on the verge of passing out. Why send him to the southern study and not to a medic? I had my suspicions that maybe Master Su had offended Eunuch Lan somehow and he was using shady means to retaliate. I grew frantic, and that was why I pretended to act under your majesty's orders when I escorted Master Su out of the palace. If I misunderstood Eunuch Lan and jumped to narrow-minded conclusions, I wish to apologize and make amends. However, when faced with suspicions, it is my instinct, honed over 10 years in the embroidered uniform guard, to dig deeper. It was not my intention to target Eunuch Lan. I ask for your majesty's understanding. You mentioned he was drugged. What kind of drug was it? What was its effect? I lack the medical skills to identify what the drug was and dare not make any assumptions. But he was complaining about the heat and general discomfort as he writhed in his seat, shedding his clothing like a snake shedding skin. Shedding skin. What sort of description is that? He's a decent man, yet you described him so uncouthly. I am not articulate, your majesty. I do not know how else to describe it. What did you do after you brought him out of the palace? He said he wanted to go to his concubine back home. I thought he would be better off with a doctor than a concubine, so I sent him to my home and called a doctor to treat him. The doctor informed me he had taken some aphrodisiac, and he could either sleep with a woman to relieve his desires or drink several doses of a fire-relieving decoction to suppress it. What happened next? While there was no shortage of maidservants in my home, they were all of humble origins. Master Su is young and of delicate constitution. It would be bad if he contracted a disease. So, I had him ingest a few bowls of the medicine. He fell asleep for around 16 hours and was fine the next day. Shinchi may have acted on his own, but his conclusions were well-founded and he acted appropriately. His suspicions toward Lan Shi, too, were reasonable. As for how he abused my name for his own sake, it's annoying, but not worth pursuing. Even so, he made a mistake. I cannot be lenient, lest he acts more recklessly in the future. You made 3 mistakes regarding this matter. Your first mistake was your impure motive, trying to curry the favor of officials for your own gain. Your second mistake was abusing my name and pretending you had an imperial edict when you did not. And your third mistake was that you acted on your own and behaved recklessly. I could dismiss you, but since you were only recently promoted thanks to your merits and I do not wish to be seen as fickle. Take off your uniform, turn yourself in, and be jailed for half a month. Your food and accommodations will be the same as the other prisoners, and you are not to receive preferential treatment. Reflect on your actions. I thank your Majesty for your grace. Shinchi. Yes, Your Majesty. I want you to draw up a list before nightfall for 20 of the best embroidered uniform guards. Their looks do not matter, but they must be capable and know how to serve people. They must also know how to act as spies when necessary. Understood.